Don't throw that banana peel away. In just 2 minutes, it could feed your entire garden better than store-bought fertilizer. Think about it. Every peel, scrap, or leftover in your kitchen holds hidden power for your soil. Instead of wasting it, you can unlock rich nutrients that your plants crave without spending a dime. This quick trick not only saves money, but also honors the timeless wisdom of using what we already have. Stick around, and I'll show you how to transform everyday scraps into instant garden gold. Simple, fast, and deeply rewarding. At our age, we don't need more back-breaking work or extra expenses. We need simple, smart solutions. Gardening is supposed to bring peace, joy, and that quiet sense of accomplishment when we see green life sprouting in our backyards. But let's be honest, the reality today often looks a little different. Prices for fertilizers are climbing higher each season, and every trip to the garden store seems to drain the wallet more than the last. Those shiny bags with bold promises, triple growth, super blooms, instant results, come with not just a heavy price tag, but heavy lifting too. Lugging a 40-pound bag from the trunk to the shed, and then scattering it evenly across the garden, can feel less like a relaxing hobby and more like a workout we never signed up for. On top of that, the instructions on the packaging are often confusing. Tiny print, chemical names we can't pronounce, and measurements that make us second-guess ourselves. 1 scoop per gallon. Apply every 14 days. Avoid direct contact with leaves. Sometimes it feels like you need a science degree just to feed your tomatoes. And the worst part? After all the money, effort, and time, results aren't always guaranteed. Some fertilizers burn the soil. Others wash away with the rain, leaving us right back where we started, tired, frustrated, and with plants that still look like they're begging for help. For many of us who grew up watching our parents' and grandparents' garden, the memory is different. Back then, the garden was fed with whatever the kitchen had to give: ashes from the stove, peels from the fruit bowl, shells from the eggs we cracked for breakfast. There was no fuss, no complicated instructions, no wallet-busting trips to the store. It was natural, it was simple, and most importantly, it worked. Plants thrived, soil stayed rich, and nothing was wasted. That's why this little trick I'm about to share feels so special. It connects us back to that old wisdom, while also making life easier today. Instead of battling with heavy bags or emptying our pockets on fancy chemicals, we can turn scraps we'd normally toss away into pure garden gold. It's effortless, it's quick, and it's something you can start doing right now. Because here's the truth, gardening shouldn't be complicated. It should fit our lives, not exhaust us. And with this method, you'll not only save your back and your budget, but you'll also find yourself smiling every time you drop a peel in the blender, instead of the trash, knowing it's going straight into growing the flowers, vegetables, and herbs you love. Let me tell you about Mr. Fig. He's the kind of neighbor everyone wishes they had, the one who waves from his porch, always has a story ready, and somehow manages to keep his garden greener and fuller than anyone else on the block. At nearly 75, he doesn't move as fast as he used to, but you'd never know it by looking at his garden. Tomatoes hang heavy on the vines. Roses bloom as if they're on parade, and his lettuce looks like it belongs in a farmer's market ad. One morning, while I was out struggling with a bag of store fertilizer, sweating, puffing, and muttering under my breath, Mr. Fig just chuckled from across the fence. "Why make it harder than it needs to be?" he called out. He walked over slowly, carrying nothing more than an old blender jug in one hand. Inside, I saw what looked like kitchen scraps floating in water: banana peels, onion skins, and a few wilted lettuce leaves. Honestly, it didn't look like much. Then he poured it right at the base of his plants. 2 minutes, that's all it takes, he said with a grin. My garden eats better than I do most days. At first, I thought he was joking, but he leaned in and explained. Every peel, every leftover, every bit of food waste we toss has nutrients locked inside. Instead of dragging heavy bags or paying top dollar for chemicals, he just tosses scraps into the blender with water, whirls it for a minute, and out comes liquid gold for his soil. It wasn't fancy, it wasn't complicated, and it definitely wasn't expensive. But as he spoke, I noticed something. His soil was dark, rich, and alive. His plants didn't just look healthy, they looked happy. And there was Mr. Fig, smiling proudly, knowing he'd unlocked a trick that kept gardening simple, smart, and stress-free. That moment stuck with me because it wasn't just about gardening. It was about wisdom. Older folks like Mr. Fig remind us that the best solutions are often the simplest ones. You don't need to spend a fortune or break your back when nature already gives us everything we need. It's like a little bit of grandma's wisdom, passed down, a reminder that scraps are not waste, but a gift waiting to be used. So today, I want to share that same 2-minute trick with you, not just as a gardening hack, but as a way to bring back that sense of ease, connection, and joy that gardening was always meant to give us. Because if Mr. Fig can keep his garden thriving with nothing more than yesterday's leftovers, so can you. The 2-minute trick. All right, let's walk through this simple 2-minute trick together, step by step. I promise, it's going to be so easy you'll wonder why you didn't start doing it years ago. Step 1. Collect your scraps. The magic begins right in your kitchen. Instead of tossing banana peels in the trash, saving your coffee grounds, or throwing away eggshells, set them aside. Each one of these scraps is packed with nutrients your plants love. Banana peels are rich in potassium and phosphorus, perfect for blooms and strong roots. Coffee grounds add nitrogen, which fuels leafy growth. Eggshells bring in calcium, keeping the soil balanced and preventing problems like blossom end rot in tomatoes. These are everyday items we all have, and the best part? They cost absolutely nothing. Step 2. Blend with water. Here's where the fun begins. Take your scraps, maybe one banana peel, a small handful of used coffee grounds, and a couple of crushed eggshells, and pop them into a blender. Add about 2 to 3 cups of water. No exact science. No complicated measuring. Just enough water to help it blend smoothly. Hit the button and let the blender do the hard work. In less than a minute, you'll have a nutrient-rich liquid that looks like a smoothie, but it's for your plants, not your breakfast. This step is so light and easy that even if lifting heavy bags or bending over is hard for you, this won't be. Step 3. Pour at the base of your plants. Take your homemade plant smoothie outside and gently pour it right at the roots of your flowers, vegetables, or potted plants. That's it. You don't need to dilute it further. You don't need to wait days or weeks. And you certainly don't need to read confusing instructions. The nutrients go straight into the soil, right where your plants can drink them up. Within days, you'll notice stronger stems, greener leaves, and blossoms that perk up like they've been given new life. And here's the beauty of it. No chemicals. You're not adding anything harsh or artificial, just pure, natural nutrition. No heavy lifting. Say goodbye to lugging fertilizer bags or straining your back. No waste. Every scrap you recycle into this mix is one less thing heading to the trash. It's gardening the way it was meant to be, simple, smart, and in harmony with nature. Think about it. Every time you enjoy a banana, make coffee, or crack an egg, you're not just feeding yourself. You're preparing a meal for your garden too. And the turnaround is instant. There's no waiting for compost to break down over weeks or months. With this blender trick, you're literally taking what would have been waste and transforming it into plant gold in just 2 minutes. That's the kind of solution we need at this stage of life. Easy, effective, and deeply satisfying. Because gardening should never feel like hard labor. It should feel like joy. Why it works. Now, let's pause for just a moment and talk about why this little trick works so well. You see, it's not magic. It's science mixed with a bit of old-fashioned wisdom. Every single kitchen scrap we used in this mix is packed with nutrients that plants crave. The same way our bodies need vitamins and minerals to stay healthy. Banana peels equals potassium and phosphorus. Bananas aren't just good for us. They're great for our gardens too. Their peels are loaded with potassium, which plants use to build strong roots and produce more flowers and fruit. Potassium is like the secret ingredient that helps roses bloom bigger, tomatoes set more fruit, and peppers grow stronger. Phosphorus, also found in the peel, supports root development and overall plant health. So every time you blend a banana peel into your mix, you're giving your plants the same kind of boost you'd get from eating a piece of fruit after a long walk. Instant energy and strength. Coffee grounds equals nitrogen. Coffee isn't just what helps us start the morning. It's also what helps plants wake up. Used coffee grounds are rich in nitrogen, which is the nutrient responsible for leafy, green growth. If your plants have been looking a little tired or pale, nitrogen is what perks them up. Think of it like this. Nitrogen is the protein builder of the plant world. It feeds the leaves, strengthens the stems, and helps the whole plant stand taller. And the best part? Most of us already have used coffee grounds in our kitchen every day. Instead of throwing them away, you can recycle them straight into the soil where they do real good. Eggshells equals calcium. Here's where the wisdom really shines. Just like our bones need calcium to stay strong as we age, plants, especially tomatoes and peppers, need calcium too. Without it, they can suffer from a problem called blossom end rot, where fruits turn black and mushy at the bottom. Calcium keeps plant cells firm and healthy, helping fruits and vegetables grow to their full potential. Eggshells, when crushed or blended, release calcium into the soil in a way plants can absorb. It's such a simple fix, and it prevents so many gardening headaches down the road. When you put these three together, banana peel for potassium and phosphorus, coffee grounds for nitrogen, and eggshells for calcium, you're basically creating a complete meal for your plants. No chemicals, no store-bought mixes, no guesswork. It's like serving them a home-cooked dinner instead of fast food. And here's the part one love most. This is nothing new. This is the same kind of wisdom our parents and grandparents used. They didn't run to the store every week for a bag of fertilizer. They used what they had, and the garden thanked them for it. That's why this trick feels so natural, so familiar. It's more than just feeding plants. It's carrying forward a tradition of simplicity, frugality, and connection to the earth. Here's the fun part. I don't want this to just be me talking. I want to hear from you. Because gardening is always richer when we share our little secrets with each other. Everyone has that one tip or trick that makes their garden thrive. And yours could be the one that inspires someone else watching this. So let me ask you, what's your favorite kitchen scrap garden hack? Do you swear by banana peels for bigger blooms? Are you a coffee lover who gives those used grounds to your plants every morning? Or maybe you're team eggshell, crushing them up to keep the soil rich with calcium. Think of it as a friendly gardening team. You've got Team Banana, Team Coffee, and Team Eggshell. Which one are you? Or maybe you've got a whole new one to add, like onion skins, tea bags, or even potato water. Drop your answer in the comments, because I'd love to see the creative, tried and true methods you've discovered over the years. Here's why this matters. When you share your gardening wisdom, it's not just a comment. It's a seed planted in someone else's mind. Maybe a gardener across the country, or even across the world, will read your idea and try it in their backyard. That's how traditions grow and spread. And who knows, your trick might just be the one that helps someone save money, simplify their gardening, or bring a smile to their face when they see healthier plants. And let's be honest, gardening is personal. We all have our little routines, our favorite plants, our cherished habits. By sharing yours, you're not only joining the conversation, you're keeping that spirit of community alive. Think of the comments section as our neighborhood fence, where we lean over and swap tips, just like Mr. Fig did with his blender trick. So go ahead, jump in. Are you Team Banana, Team Coffee, or Team Eggshell? Or do you have another scrap trick you've been keeping secret all these years? Leave it in the comments. I'll be reading through them. And I'm excited to see which team comes out on top. Because at the end of the day, this isn't just about fertilizer. It's about connecting, learning, and passing along the simple, smart solutions that make gardening such a joy. Extra tip. Here's a little bonus tip to keep in your gardener's toolkit. Something so simple, yet so overlooked that once you hear it, you'll never pour it down the sink again. I'm talking about leftover vegetable water. Think about the last time you boiled potatoes, carrots, spinach, or even pasta. When you drain that pot, what usually happens? The water goes right down the drain without a second thought. But here's the secret. That water isn't wastewater at all. It's loaded with nutrients. Every time vegetables cook, tiny amounts of their vitamins and minerals seep out into the water. What looks like plain liquid is actually a natural, nutrient-rich drink for your plants. Instead of wasting it, let the water cool completely. Plants don't like it hot, of course, and then pour it right at the base of your flowers, herbs, or vegetables. It's like giving them a homemade multivitamin, gentle, free, and effective. Your plants soak it up instantly, and nothing gets wasted. This trick is especially helpful for indoor potted plants or balcony gardens. Sometimes small pots can dry out quickly, and giving them a splash of cooled veggie water provides not just hydration, but nourishment too. It's like two benefits in one. And here's the nostalgic part. This isn't new. Many of our grandparents already knew this trick. Back in the day, nothing was wasted. Every peel, every shell, every drop of cooking water had a second purpose. Gardens flourished, not because of expensive store-bought products, but because of everyday household wisdom. By bringing this habit back, we're not just feeding plants, we're honoring that same spirit of frugality and resourcefulness. Imagine this. Next time you cook a pot of green beans, you'll smile knowing you're not just making dinner for yourself, you're preparing a treat for your garden too. It's such a simple switch, but it can make a real difference over time. And here's one more plus. This works right alongside the blender trick with banana peels, coffee grounds, and eggshells. You can use both methods, hand in hand, to give your garden even more variety and nutrients, without spending a single extra dime. So don't let that veggie water slip down the drain. Let it flow into your garden instead. Small choices like this not only save money and reduce waste, but also give your plants a little thank you drink for all the beauty and food they provide us. When it all comes down to it, gardening isn't just about soil and seeds. It's about wisdom, resourcefulness, and the kind of everyday lessons that carry far beyond the garden fence. Our grandparents knew this. They wasted nothing. Every peel, every shell, every drop of cooking water had a purpose. They didn't see scraps as trash, they saw them as treasure. And because of that mindset, their gardens thrived, their kitchens stretched further, and their lives carried a kind of simple abundance we often long for today. Now, we have the chance to bring that same spirit back into our own lives. Think about it. Every banana peel, every coffee ground, every eggshell you set aside becomes a gift to your garden. What once looked like garbage transforms into nourishment, growth, and beauty. It's more than just a trick. It's a reminder that nothing has to be wasted, and that even the smallest things we do with intention can create big results. When you pour those blended scraps into your soil, you're not just feeding plants. You're joining hands with generations before you who lived by the principle of use what you have. You're saying yes to a way of gardening that is lighter on your back, easier on your wallet, and richer for your spirit. And in a world that often pushes us to buy more, do more, and complicate what should be simple, this feels like a return home, a return to wisdom that never grows old. So the next time you stand in your kitchen with a peel in your hand, remember this. You hold the power to create life where others see waste. You hold the same resourcefulness that kept gardens blooming decades ago. And just like our grandparents taught us, every scrap can bloom into life again. That's the beauty of this 2-minute trick. It's not about shortcuts. It's about reconnecting with a way of living that values simplicity, gratitude, and care. A way that turns the ordinary into something extraordinary. So go ahead, feed your garden with your scraps. Smile as you watch new growth unfold. And know that in this small but powerful act, you're keeping alive a tradition of resilience and wisdom. Because when we waste nothing, we discover that everything, yes, even the scraps, has the potential to bring beauty, nourishment, and joy back into our lives. If this simple trick made you smile, or if it sparked an idea you can try in your own backyard, I'd love for you to take just a moment and pass that spark along. Give this video a like. It's a small click, but it tells us that these ideas are reaching people who care about gardening and the simple wisdom that makes life a little easier. And don't keep it to yourself. Share it with a gardening friend, a neighbor, or even a family member who could use a reminder that solutions don't have to be expensive or complicated. Sometimes the best gift we can give someone is a practical tip that makes their day lighter and their garden brighter. You never know, your share might be the reason someone else rediscovers the joy of turning scraps into life. Most importantly, I invite you to subscribe to the Evergreen Seniors, where wisdom grows wild. This channel isn't just about hacks and tricks, it's about building a community of people who appreciate timeless knowledge, resourcefulness, and the joy of living simply. Every video is crafted to inspire, encourage, and remind us that even in small things, there's beauty worth celebrating. When you subscribe, you're not just adding another channel to your list. You're joining a circle of like-minded people who believe that gardening is more than a chore. It's therapy, it's tradition, and it's a way of staying connected to the earth and each other. And as you like, share, and subscribe, you're helping to keep this wisdom alive, not just for us, but for the next generation of gardeners who will one day look back and say, they knew how to do it the simple way. So, If your heart feels a little lighter and your garden feels a little closer after this video, let that feeling guide you. Like this video, share it with someone who loves the soil as much as you do. Subscribe to the Evergreen Seniors, where wisdom, stories, and gardening hacks come together to make life bloom. Because at the end of the day, it's not just about plants, it's about people and the wisdom we grow together.